Hey, it's Don the Auction Professor. Today I had quite a few picks. I've got some of the items up here. I also went to a call for 1,000 plus records, 45s. So when I got there wasn't quite that many. I did purchase them all. It was almost 800. It was a real good price. I spent 45 bucks on them. It was out in the country. I had talked to them about some of the other items they had setting in their garage. They were going to run a sale, and they just didn't want to mess with it, so they had a bunch of stuff in the garage. So they were listing it on Craigslist, and that's why I found the records. I didn't even realize they had other ads or anything. I found something really good for 20 bucks while I was there. This bought just as you see it for 20 bucks, all in this basket and everything. The basket's just junk. It doesn't mean anything. These are actually floats for fishing nets. Blown glass. You can see the marks on the bottom, all scrunched up. Some of these are marked. Some of these are very large, and they're marked from Japan. Some of these probably date back to the 1870s or 80s. Some of them are actually marked on the bottom. They have the company maker on it. I believe they're all Japanese. All handmade, all different colors. I actually really like them. Blues, there's some amethyst. They all have bubbles in the glass. They're stretch glass. Very unique. There's some oddball shapes in here too. Dust and everything, just as you see it. Again, I spent 20 bucks on this. Some of these are very heavy. These would have actually had nets, like the old ropes, big thick netting all around them, and these would hold the nets up in the ocean when they're out deep sea fishing, you know, big, huge trawlers. There'd be hundreds of these things there. They'd break occasionally, but they're very thick, well done. They're stretched glass. I mean, they're really unique items. If you've seen some of these before, you'd know right off the bat what these were. If you maybe just saw one, you might not think much of it, but these are the real deal. These are early. One of them was marked with a DJ or something similar, but some of these will probably go for about $20, $25 a piece. There's a real big one in here too. Let me see if I can't get it out to show you. Let's see here. Again, there's quite a few of these in here, of all different colors, styles. Again, these are all hand-blown glass. I've had a few here and there. I've never had this many all at once. They just don't show up that much in this country. Sometimes they're washed ashore in like California. I think we found one or two in Florida once out of all the years we lived there. There's a real giant one. Let me show you the big one here. I haven't pulled these out. Literally, I came home. They've been sitting since I got home. They're not fragile, but I don't want to mess them up. I just wanted to give you an idea. This is the biggest one in here. And this, again, is hand-blown glass. Very unique. It weighs probably, I don't know, 2 pounds on its own. But these are very unique items. There's a lot of them. This one's got a name all around the base and some Japanese text. I don't know if these are mold-made or what. You can see all the dust on them. I don't really worry about the dust so much down here. We've got a little filter system in here too, but see if I can get these back in here and take them off the counter here. But this is just a killer thing here. I'm probably going to get a return on my investment like $145. These may not go up on eBay. I know somebody who buys a lot of the nautical. We've got a nautical area. The Lake Erie's not too far away from here, and there's a huge area that's actually literally out in the water on a peninsula. Everything out there, you know, is a nautical theme. There's, you know, little lighthouses and rope edging and all kinds of stuff like this. I don't think I'll have any problem selling this even around here. For a good like $125 local, no wrap up, nothing, just as is, as you see it. I may even list them on Craigslist myself, but I think I'll just give a call to a couple of the people I know who own some stores out in the this way out in what's called Point Place out here. But good buy. Again, I'm going to make at least 100 bucks off of these. This was out in the garage too when I was looking at the records. I got this for $1. I just, hey, would you take $1? Sure. It's in there. It's probably been used, but it's in excellent condition. It's an original one, original official Tari from 1985. It's all dated. It's got the box. No idea what this is worth. I'll look it up, but I couldn't imagine it going for less than 10 or 15 bucks. Somebody out there will know right off the bat, I'm sure. Let's see here. I got these two. These are in her garage. Again, I was literally just looking at records. That's all I was looking at. I paid $5 for this stack here. I did that. Usually I wouldn't pay that much for newspapers, but these are all Elvis. She doesn't even remember where they got them from. They're from the 70s, early 70s. Elvis Speaks from the Grave. It's got a poster on the back. These are probably like 10, 15 bucks a piece. It's September 27th, 1977. That's one. This one's another star from September 20th, right around when he died. What else is in here? It's a whole expose on Elvis. So this should do very well. Again, 10, 15, 20 bucks maybe even. Here's our local newspaper with actually the headline, Elvis Presley dies in Memphis at 42. Cause attributed to heart attack. So, I mean, this is an interesting one. August 17th, 1977, on an original. Again, $5 I paid for all these. Elvis, The Untold Story, a picture while he's in the coffin. Whether that's a real picture or not, I don't know. Another one, Midnight Globe, September 6th, 1977. September 27th Star. Again, Elvis has got Priscilla and the child. Another one, Inquirer. This is September 20th. These are right around his death, so I could probably throw these in a big lot if I wanted to, or you know, sell them separately. I'm not sure what I'll do yet. I'll have to look them up. But again, they're all decent ones. Again, Elvis is dead in here. Let's see. It says it's got posters. Oh, yeah, they're just on the back. Elvis posters. These should all do very well. I'll probably get, you know, 70 to 100 bucks back on these. And this one's got $6 Million Man on the back. That should go very well. I sold one similar to this the other day for $17.50. So, you know, there's at least 100 bucks I would gather in these. And it has Star Wars in there too. Pretty interesting. What's the year? 77, so not too far behind. This all here is from my picker, this stack here, and these right here. This is from 2 antique malls that I went to. As I said, I went to a bunch of places. One mall had like 70 dealers. And the other one probably had about 40 or so. But I'll talk about these separately in just a few moments here. Some of the picker items I got, this was $1. It's Mr. T from the TV series, the cartoon series, not from A-Team, but from the cartoon series he had afterwards. The A-Team ones are pretty common, but this is much harder to get. For the $1, I should get, say, you know, 15 to 20 bucks probably, at least, I would say. Let's see here. I got some magazines. This is Church Times Church Workers League. Now this is like a union paper from church workers, United Church Workers. It's got sheet music and stuff in it. It's an earlier one. Let's see what's the date on this one here. 1909, and it's in like mint condition. Pretty good item. I'm probably going to show you close-ups on a few things here today. The postcards at least, and maybe a few of the little smaller items here. But something like this booklet here, I should put $17.50 to 20 bucks on it. Some early magazines. I got this one here. It's Little Folks, the Children's Magazine, 1917. This one should do fairly well, even in a little rough condition. It's got a ton of advertisement on it. All kinds of stuff, even dolls. So the doll stuff should sell well. Oh, actually, there are paper dolls on top of it. So that should do even better, advertising for paper dolls. There's some neat stuff on the back, Colgate's toothpaste, kids' activities inside, stuff to color, stuff to cut out. This is basically like a little, I don't know, paper doll set. You'd get them together and you'd build them up with other ones. Let's see what else is in here. And it's got plenty of stories, but again, $17.50 on this one. There's some sheet music too, the Peerless Orchestra collection. This one should do very well too. It's literally a Peerless band. Again, they were in records and such forth. This is from, let's see here, 1905. Again, Roman numerals you usually find in these kind of early items here. This I might put $34.50 and just see what happens. This should sell for at least 15 bucks, I would imagine. Here's an early sheet music. Now this is religious. A lot of the religious doesn't sell, but this is a real oddball one. It's from like a evangelist. It's a very limited print. Let's see how old this was. 1962. This should still do well. It's from Orlando, Florida. Oddball topic. It's all there. Just some oddball thing. I'm probably going to put like 30 bucks on it and just see what happens. Ager, Yellen, and Bornstein. They're a saxophone group. They played saxophones, ukulele, piano. This is pretty interesting. This is actually early jazz. I don't know much about this group, but it's high peak period, 1927. I'm probably going to put like $37.50 or higher on it, and we'll just go from there. I wouldn't imagine getting less than 14 or 15 for it. And again, these were all $1. Everything you see here was $1 in that stack right there. And then I got this here. Now this is an 1890s Bible. You can see the massive size of this thing. I paid $10 for this. The last big one I got that was complete and in decent condition like this one here, I think I got $75 for it, and it sold within the first 2 days. These big ones go very well. It's media mail, so it shouldn't be any problem. Let's see, I don't want to bend the spine back, but I'll read you the edition just in case. It's Thayer, Miriam and Company. It's a nice one. It's got references and the whole works in the back. But again, it's $75 minimum I would take on this one. I might get $125 or higher. I'll have to look this up. There's all kinds of different ones. These are like what you'd see at like a family Bible. This one I would say is more like a church Bible. Literally maybe from an old church, just because it has larger text so it would be able to be read from the pulpit instead of, getting close to it. Usually the family ones say that on it. This has no reference to the family or whatsoever on it. So stuff like the ones that are more the church issues are rarer than the ones that are the home or family editions. So those are the ones I usually try to get. So this one could be worth a little more than $75, but for my $10 investment, I'm literally going to get at least $50 back or better. I buy Bibles all the time. I sell all the leather cover Bibles, even from the 1920s and on down. I can still sell them. Civil War ones I always sell if they're dated, regardless of any military content. They're always bought. They're usually pocket editions, 1890s, 1860s. Same thing goes for some of the early like dictionaries, like Webster's and things like that. I've sold early Webster's for a couple $100 in the past. It just depends on how early it goes. 1840s-ish goes very well. So anyway, let's move this back over there. This I spent $5 on. I wasn't 100% sure what it went to, but it's a Safari Land. I knew the name. It's a nice quality one. It's all there. It's in good, usable condition. It says LGE Auto, Monrovia, California. It's a real nice one. It's all complete. It's vertical for an automatic is what it is. It must be some really massive gun, I would imagine. eBay comps, I should at least get, say, $50 or $60. There was two that went up, one in the 20 some odd range, but it was buy it now, and the other one is in the $40 range, and it wasn't as nice as this. So I'm going to put this up for $57.50. My $5 investment, I should do very, very well with it. Let's see here. This is an early Fisher Price, one of those paddle toys. This is like the 30s. Let me see if I can get it. These can be restrung as long as they're all there. People still buy them. This is complete, ears, everything. This one here I should probably get about $25 for. I've got $3 into it. It's an original. It's marked with the Fisher Price logo up on here. I don't mess with the Disney ones too much unless they're like $1 or something. These usually, the Disney ones go for about $10. There's a Pluto and a Goofy. I've had them all. I only get them when they're really cheap. This one I spent a few extra bucks on because the oddball ones that aren't characters sell better than the other ones because they weren't made or as common or as popular, so they don't show up as much. So this one again to like $25, so pretty good deal there. These were $1. Two brand new wallets. So for $1 a piece, may not think much of it, but they're brand spanking new. And this is a Monday. It's a genuine eel skin. It's probably one of the softest wallets I've ever felt. Just a very nice fabric on it. But again, it's brand new. It's still got all the labels and stickers and the whole works on it. This should probably get me back, say, I don't know, 15 or so bucks on this one. And this one again, this one's brand new too. It's name brand leather. It's got the guarantee. It's Amity. This one again, like 10, 15 bucks. It's a nice one. It's got all the original paper stuff that would, be the filler stuff still in it. So that's pretty good. Here's a Champion spark plug pen. This is like 15 bucks I should get out of it. Again, I paid $1 for it, so that's a pretty decent item. I got a couple pieces of silver. Again, I only paid like $3 for the pair of these. He didn't know this one was silver, and I wasn't 100% sure until I got it home and looked at it much closer. And it is marked. There is a mark on it. This is 1912, and it is marked again. It's a nice piece. It's marked sterling, so I got it well under what the sterling value is. This on its own probably will sell anyway. I'll probably show you this on close-up maybe too. And this was in there too. There was a brand new tape in here, cassette tape, which I took out and putting in a bunch. But this was in there too. Now I've had a couple of these. I knew right off the bat whether it was broken or not, I was going to get at least 25 or 30 bucks for it. These broken, not working, still can sell for 45 bucks, believe it or not. It's a Sony TCM-2. There's a -1, and there's some later versions of this one too. This is a precursor to what would be called the Walkman. This one works, so this one could be 125 or better. I've seen them as high as 150 selling in that range. Not asking price, but selling in there. I've tested it. It does work. It's very clean. It even still has the little sticker on the front. I've never seen one with the sticker still on it like this. Everything works on it. I was very surprised. I just sold one of these the other day that did not work, and I got $32 for it. It was a little rough, but still, $32. These are repaired all the time. People love these things. Classic. I mean, this is primo classic. Good, as I said, I will at least get 120 in that range for it. Look them up yourself. They're very good items. If you see them, get them. It doesn't have to say Walkman. The precursors, the ones that came out before the Walkman, are worth way more than the ones that say Walkman on them, for the most part. Good purchase here, though. I spent $5 on it too, only because I knew it worked. If it didn't work, I would probably try to talk them down from the $5. But oh, and it has the instructions with it too, which I was quite surprised. Excellent condition. It's got the purchase date and the serial number written on it, so you could even track this one down. It's from 1985. Let's see if I can get it back in here. There we are. But that's a good item. I got a pendant. It's a lovely, like mid-century owl. That was $1. And then here's some funky 50s, like costume jewelry. It's almost like an optical thing. Again, this was $1 as well too. It's plastic even, but this one should probably go in the, I don't know, say 24, 27. It's mid-century mod. It's almost atomic era. The black and white references there. It's really interesting. I thought it was neat. They each have a pattern on it. It's not really half and half though, but rather interesting. And then here's another piece of costume jewelry. And this is early. This is probably 1940s. And again, it's almost an atomic pattern on the bottom. It almost looks like pistons or something on the bottom. But this was $1 as well. I'm probably going to put like $34.50 on this one here. I'll probably show you these in a close-up here in just a moment. And then my usual, I got a bunch of postcards. I've sorted the postcards out. These are the real good ones. These are the ones I'm going to put up right away, or real soon. And I'm going to put these up right away because I've got a ton of Tahoe ones in here. And there's a lot of California in this well, too. I bombed 3 antique places, and I took every single good card out of all 3 of those places. One of them has like 70 vendors, so I spent some time in the store, maybe an hour and 20 minutes in the one mall on its own. And I just literally looked through the easy to find ones, like the California bins and all the postcard slots they had. Any ones that had loose random postcards I looked through. I hit the booths I usually hit. Literally, I know where to go most of the time, right into the store, and I can hit those booths. I looked through a ton of postcards, though, today. Altogether, I probably have about 2.5 hours just looking for postcards. Maybe a little longer than that with drive time. Maybe, 3 hours with drive time. But there's a couple postcards in here again. There's a Lake Tahoe one in here again, an inside view like the other one that I sold for $450. Similar type establishment, similar type image. In that, again, I should get a couple $100 for that alone. All together, in postcards, again, I'm telling you, the postcards I can make a ton of money in. And anybody can do this. It's not just me. I average price about, $1.25, I guess, if you average them all out. I paid $3 for a few postcards. Again, average-wise, it's under $2 a postcard by the time you average them all out. A bunch of them were $1, some were $2. Again, but I was very selective on what I bought. I looked at thousands of postcards today. This is something I'll do. I've got all these employees in here. These are quick to take photos of. Employees took photos today in 2 separate areas. We probably took 4,000 photos today on an 8-hour shift for 2 people, so maybe even more than that. But 4,000 is a real good rough estimate just by the quantity of the stacks of items we've already taken photos of, judging on those. But it was a very good pick day today. All told, I'm going to make several $1,000s, maybe closer to $2,500. One of my better days. And that's not counting the 800 plus records that I got just today. So we're just flush with merchandise to sell. And this is how I keep it going through summer. This is literally how our sales increase. This is how I can afford to run all this extra labor, running, people working 8-hour shifts, throughout the week. And again, like today's shifts, we've sold 7 items already with what was just listed, and several of those are a postcard. I've already got from today's shift, and it's only been over a few hours, probably $175 after fees and everything else back, which pretty much pays for all of my labor today. Literally, it's gone. My labor's paid for. And it's still early. The sun's still out today. It's a holiday weekend, so there's going to be a bunch more sales in there, and I should do very well for today. With 175 already in, profit-wise after fees, we're probably going to do like 500 plus in additional sales from just what was listed today. That's how I can afford to do this, and that's how this works. And these take up no room. There's hundreds. I probably got, 175 postcards today, and I got like around $200 or so, just over $200 into just the postcards. So that's a pretty good deal. No tax. You just showed my my EIN number, but that's just a perfect example of the amount of money you can make in these. There's not a card in here that won't sell for at least $7.99 range. I was very picky, so I had all kinds of options to look through. There's some silkscreen ones in here. There's some serigraphs in here. A ton of real picture postcards. Probably about 90 real picture postcards out of that. Well, probably not that many. There's probably 65 or so, maybe it looks like, real picture postcards. And then holidays, Christmas, just a good mix. But we're going to go over to the screen now, and I'll show you some close-ups on some of these postcards. Just give you a few. I won't spend a ton of time going on it because it's been a real busy day for me today. But I'll show you some real quick here, and here we go to the screen. Here's the first item. This is from the antique mall. Again, I went to 3 different antique places today. I spent 3 or 4 hours all day looking at these. This is like a promotional item from like an early radio show, Jimmy Allen, Flying Cadet. It's not actually a postcard. This is like a premium item of some sort. I've had other items by Jimmy Allen. I've had the actual cadet wings and some other mail-aways. This should bring me in about $17.50. This was $1. Some of the other items here, these are all California cards. I'm just going to flip through them here just to give you an idea. I buy multiples when I can. These are like $8-10 a piece on this one here, and I've got 3 of them. These were $1 a piece, these 3 here. This one here I'm going to have to look up. I think this one was $1 too, actually. This is something good. They probably figured they couldn't ID it, but there's enough information here for me to tell exactly where this is. This is from California as well, too. It's a queen of some like event. Lottie. I'm sure I can figure this out. Now this one, I'm not sure who this is, but it's a Civil War thing. It says Carl G. Bartlett, General Grant, Celebration July 4th, 1936, Eureka, California. Maybe he was playing General Grant. I don't know if this is somebody famous, but I'll look it up. It's pretty interesting on him. Nice early real picture postcard. Here's another early one. This is a sanitarium. It's an early interesting one. Real picture postcard. It was actually 50 cents. You can see it right there. Let's see here. This is a real neat one. I've sold one from the same place on this one here, real picture postcard for $45. I don't know what this one's going to be worth. That's not actually on there. It's on the plastic. Real picture again. Here's another real good one. This is near Lake Tahoe. Even with the cut there, I'll probably get $8-10 for this one. This was 50 cents. This one should do very well. It's Camp Curry Fire Falls. It looks like kind of fire falling from the sky. Just by the way the moon lights it. This is very interesting. But this is a real photo postcard too. Here's Mono Lake, another California. I'm going to have to look some of these up, but just gives you kind of an idea on the kind of cards I look for. This is the stairway to Marshall Monument, Coloma, California. No idea even where this one's at, but these are really good. These were like $1 a piece, most of these. This is another good one here, advertisement, Mount St. Helen, before the explosion, real picture postcard. This is a school, stuff like this. You might get, say, $20-30 for some of these cards here. These are all good cards. Here's another school in California, real early one. This one was $1. This one should do very well. This is a, let's see here, it's a smelting plant in Del Mar. This one might get to the $100 plus range here. I'll have to look this one up a little closer though, but this could be a couple $100 even. This one might be a candidate for an auction even. These always sell, these entrances and the giant logs that you walk into. Real pictures like this, I'm going to at least get, let's say, 15 bucks out of it. I'll probably put $34.50. I might even get that for it. Here's another one, Miramar, Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara stuff sells very well, so this one should do very well. These are all, again, most of these are real pictures. I've separated those from the rest of them. This one's named, it says where it's at. This would be a very good one too. Again, like $1 or $2 for every one of these. State Road below the summit. This one I should be able to tell too. This is California. Actually, it says on the back. So it's San Francisco area. Again, these are all real good postcards. Most of these are Tahoe area because, again, that's the ones I looked for. So most of these real picture Tahoes are like 17 bucks a piece. Here's a wine cellar. A lot of wine stuff sells from California, so I'm expecting this one should do well. It's a real picture again. This is General Sherman. Good one here too. These go for like 15 bucks. Small quaint town. I think it says where this is at. Sonoma. This is Sonoma right here. This one's probably like a good, I don't know, at least 75 bucks for this one here. This one might be another couple $100 card here. This one's probably like 15 bucks. It's got a crease. State Road near Tahoe, another 15-20 bucks. This one's another California one too. You can tell which one this is. This is early. This is like 1902. This one's probably like 50-60 bucks. The dam, I'll have to look this one up, but it's at least a couple bucks. This is that sanitarium again in California. This one's probably a good 17 to 20. Logging always sells. This is a nice early logging one. It says where it's from, Eureka, California area. This one I'm going to have to look up, but I'd at least put 20 bucks on it. More of those, more of the lumber. These always sell, $17.50 at least. Redwood Park. A lot of these ones too, I can get a ton of money for these. There's hundreds of dollars here in this stack. Again, one of these postcards alone is probably going to pay for the entire thing. So, you know, that's just how it works. Again, these are all from the Antique Mall. Stuff like this, because they're not looking it up, this is Adora Park in Oakland, California from 1910. They took their picture there. This is probably a one-of-a-kind postcard. Just because that is there is why it's going to sell. Again, these are all California locations. Camp Meeker, I'm not sure where that's at, but this is at least 15-20 bucks. This one here is the Apple Show in California. This one's probably a really nice one too. This one's probably in the $50 range too. Treasure Island. This is a park. These usually sell very well. It's a bird's eye view, real picture postcard. Again, I'm just going to show you a few more here. Another Treasure Island, Big Bear Lake, California. These are really nice postcards. Again, these are just cheap ones. I didn't pay much for these at all. Here's an advertising for a studio from the 50s. Nice early one. Here's the other good Tahoe one. This one's probably a good couple $100 here. This is Pomin's Lodge, Lake Tahoe. Real picture postcard. It's a nice early one. Nice lighting, nice image, circa 1910. This is probably another couple $100 for me right here. This one probably pays for every postcard I got. And again, I've got almost 200 plus postcards in here. Rainbow Tavern, another good one. Again, these are all just nice real picture postcards. These are just stuff that if you get them for 50 cents or less and they're from California or someplace good, that's what I would get. All these aren't going to be a winner, but if they're not, I put them together in a lot and I sell them in a lot and I'll still get all my money back and still probably make a 50% profit. So, you know, this works very well. Again, we'll just flip through. Let's see if there's any real good ones in here. Let's see here. Bird's eye view, bridges. This one's pretty good here too. This one should do very well. This is a seriograph. This is probably 20 bucks too. That means it was basically like a silkscreen process. It says seriograph on the back. Again, most of these are in sleeves. That's why they look a little funny, but this should do very well too. Some of these I've looked up already. New Year's card here. Rather interesting one. 50 cents to $1 for most of these. I picked the oddball ones. The prettier ones sell better. Most of these here are going to be like $14.99 to $18.50, especially the Valentine's ones. These earlier ones, the neater they are, the better they go. Just like this one here too. The neater they are, the better they go. Just show you just some here. This is what I look for. You can kind of get an idea. Again, I didn't pay more than $1 or so a piece for these in bulk. This one's signed, so this one is a little better than most. Let's see if we can't focus it. Maybe back up just a little bit there. But just gives you an idea. This one's actually perforated all around the edges like a lace. That's why I got this one. And it's a lovely image. It's got lilies of the valley. They always sell. This one's patriotic. These always sell with the flags and the ladies on them. It's a Valentine's. They should do very well. Another one. This is a nicely embossed. The stork. It's got a flag and early. Here's some earlier. This one's heavy. This one has actually like a velvet on the top. Nice early one. This one's got like a metallic to it. This one's a calendar that you can actually rotate and it'll keep to date for a whole year. This one's got a booklet on it, a Christmas little booklet that you'd sign with a poem. That one's pretty neat. And again, I didn't pay more than $1 for most of these. Early Santas always sell with an angel. This one's probably 20 or 30 bucks. This one's got velvet with actually metal wording on it. That one's pretty interesting. This one's really interesting. This one's really thick. I don't know how well you can tell how thick this one is, but this one's like 1/4 of an inch or thicker with a nice embossed tree inlaid with mica. This one's probably like 50 or so bucks, I think I put on it. This one I run into all the time. These go for like $6-7 minimum. Marineland and Flagler Beach area. Again, this is just what I look for. Baby bunting. Just nice early postcards. Just kind of gives you an idea. But that's about it. I'm not going to show you them all. I could sit here all day and show you postcards. But that's, literally what I look for. It gives you kind of an idea. You see some of the cards I look for. These, again, all came from the antique malls that I went to. And again, I always find this type of item there. That's how I can make the money. If you're not investing some time into researching items, you're really losing out. Clothing is just going to be harder and harder with the way eBay's steering it towards the Amazon setup. And everybody who's done Amazon clothing knows that returns are a constant threat all the time, and so is feedback, so is getting banned, so is violating the rules. These are all issues you have to worry about on Amazon especially, but eBay again is steering that way to make it a friendlier and more open market that will share the stuff on Google just as well as like Amazon does. But there you have it. Well, there you go. There's another good pick today. I'm not showing the records, just a ton of them. I haven't even sorted through them yet. I don't know what I'm going to get. But as I always do, I look through enough to know that I was going to make some good money. I looked through maybe 10% of them, 15% of them, 80 or 90 before I actually said, yeah, I'll take them. And at that point, I already had $100 and some odd profit. Easy, no question about it. And with the type of material, it wasn't looked through. It was in her personal collection since, back in like 47-ish on up. I think that was the earliest one I saw from what I looked through. I saw some Elvis. There was one Sun in there. I didn't see what it was, but it didn't matter at this point. I already was going to make a ton of money, so I purchased them. But that kind of gives you an idea of what I did. So $2,500 profit without the records. This could be a very big day. This is just why I get into this kind of stuff here. I could never go to a thrift store and spend my day going to 3 different thrift stores and make, $2,500. And that, again, not counting the records. The records was from a Craigslist call that I found. I do have a search saved in Craigslist for certain items. Call, went right out, and boom. So I'm probably going to make, a couple $1,000 off of the records, possibly, from just what I saw already. It's high potential on that. It only takes one record on that kind of quantity to get something good. And I know there's some good ones in there after just what I saw with the 80 or 90 I looked through. So I might give you an update on that, but there's going to be some good money here. This could be a $4,000+ day for me. And again, this is stuff that anybody can find. I'm nothing special. I'm doing the same things everybody else does. I called a Craigslist ad. I went to some antique malls that anybody can go into that have these items in there. Again, these are dealers who don't price their postcards. They just throw a couple bucks on them by what they look like. None of it was research. None of it. Not even the Lake Tahoe ones, So that's how I make the money. It's just out there. All this stuff you can see. These show up at Savers if you wouldn't have seen them there. These show up at flea markets, and the whole works. This player here, I bought these at Savers. I bought them at Savers on in the bags on the wall in the back. I bought flashlights at Savers that were safety lanterns for cars that are worth hundreds at Savers. Savers has a lot of these vintage electronics, and Goodwill has a ton of them as well too. Again, I don't go buy as much as most people do because I make my money in buying stuff in bulk, like these cards here. These are big money, good items. Same goes for the records that I got. And even going to buy the records, I bought the glass floats. So, there's a ton of money out there. It's just a matter of you researching and taking your time to look for it. If you're looking for, clothing and spending your time doing that, spend a little less time looking for clothing and look for something else for a few minutes a day. It's not going to hurt you. You might learn something if you research it and spend the time. You're going to be ahead of the game when all the eBay stuff keeps veering towards Amazon. The updates just came into effect. Everybody knows on the 1st that you have to offer free returns for 30 days to keep your top-rated plus status. So that's where we're at. Again, Don, the Auction Professor. If you liked it, please hit the like button below, subscribe, and tell a friend.